Have no fear, we will not be sanding on a boat today. We will be working on a 40 horsepower Johnson outboard. I will be removing the lower unit. We will completely reseal the lower unit and replace a water pump. This illustration is simply for my subscribers and viewers to update them on the progress of the epoxy coat. I am sanding it down, preparing it for another coat because it didn't turn out great. New to the channel, you're in good hands. I am the one and only infamous Kentucky Yankee without a doubt. We have been working on a bass tracker. This is the 5th video in the series. If you want to get caught up, easy to do. Every video is numbered right in the beginning of the title. Enough said, let's go to work. Once you take this out, it'll really start flowing. Whoop! See the difference? We got some air letting it down through there. It does have a little water in it, but nowhere near as bad as I thought it was when I first took the screw out. It's really not bad. Woo! There she goes, it broke. I'm going to remove the starter to make it easier to get to the shift linkage where we have to disconnect it. The bolt I'm after for the shift linkage is right here. It's a 10mm bolt. With that unhooked, this should slide right on down. If I only had a vise, wouldn't that be sweet? But I don't, so it's rigged up, propped up, and ready to work on. 4 bolts need to be removed. 2 of them are 5/16, 2 3/8. 1, 2 of them 5/16. 1, 2 of them 3/8. They've got little keepers here to hold that piece in there. I've rigged up a puller. I'm trying to get this cartridge out of here so we can change the seals. Let's see what happens. I'll heat it up and then pop it again and see what happens. Well, this is going to be tough. Something's moving. I don't think it's good. Oh boy. Just broke it. Let's see if we can break this side too. Junk. I have no excuse whatsoever for what happened here. Breaking this part was foolish, and it will now cost me money. Because this part does have to be replaced, I'm going to make extracting it as quick and easy as possible. I'm just making these threads bigger so I can put 3/8 inch bolts in there and hopefully just rip it out of here and be done with it. If we snap these bolts, then we really will have a problem. She just popped loose, it just jumped. Do you see that? It's gonna come out now. Whew. Dang. That was crazy. Thing was in there. Not anymore. I should have cleaned those shavings out of there first. That was kind of stupid. I'll have to do it now. That was crazy tight, and I want to share with you the way I think I would have took it out had I known it was going to be this tough. I would have took a 1/4 inch plate. I would have cut it into a circle like this. I would have drilled 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would have put the bolts through that 1/4 inch plate so that I would have had 4 bolts instead of just 2. Then I would have took 2 3/8 bolts like I just used and put them down through here with a nut behind them. Then I would have pulled it off, and I think there would have been a chance of saving it that way. I honestly don't believe there's any way 2 1/4 inch holes would have pulled this out unless I really heated it up good like with a torch or something. If when I first became frustrated, I would have removed myself from that situation and thought about what I needed to do and how I needed to do it to remove that part without damaging it, I would have been much further ahead. Having patience is the key to being a great mechanic, and I still struggle with it every day. I'm gonna stuff a couple clean rags down in here so I can clean up this housing. I don't want the debris getting down in there. Whoop! Quite a bit of corrosion here in this little housing. All nice and cleaned up in there. I did take a gear out right here, and a needle bearing, and a washer or spacer. And by the way, everything inside of here, the gears and everything, look great. Located a used part. Let's see if we can get the seal out to replace it. And that's gonna be a big no. Oh man, I can't grab it really. Just trying to distort it a little bit. Maybe it'll come out easier that way. I really need to get a vise. I already have too many though. Get it? Look at that. She's got two seals. Here's one. And there's the other one. We also have to remove this O-ring right here before I clean up our new part. Cleaned up, let's see if I can tap these seals in here. There's two of them. So far, so good. The first seal went down like this. This seal will go up like this on top of it. Now a new O-ring. Everything's centered up, lubricated, and ready to go back together. This little notch goes on the bottom. Our little keepers here need to go in. I put some blue Loctite on these bolts. Now our goofy little cap. Got her flipped over. Let's get the water pump off now. Our little keeper fell out. See it right there? Get the plate off. See how the water pump's cracked up in there? I'm going to take it out a little later and I'll show it to you closer. We need to get this housing off. I can tell that seal's no good. The spring is broke. You can see it. That felt tight. Got it out with no harm done. This O-ring right here has to be removed and shouldn't be a problem. But now we have to get this seal out, and that might be tough. We'll see if this works. Here's an extension with a socket on it, and I'm gonna try and do this. And there they go. Two seals removed. Our new replacement seal is a little different. It's only one seal, and it's made a little different. I assume it's an updated version. Ah, just broke it. That was careless, wasn't it? Nice new O-ring, ready to go back in the lower unit. I must have cut it on this sharp edge right here when I was trying to slip it on. Should have been more careful. Seals are lubed up, clean, and this thing's ready to be installed. The bolts don't have any lock washers, and these bolts don't lock, so I feel like I have to put some blue Loctite on them. Probably could have done that earlier, but better late than never. You have to be careful with this shaft. I should have told you earlier, you can't turn it. If you turn it, it'll change how high it was. And right now we're getting ready to do some work right here in this area, so I gotta measure it. From here to the middle of the hole, that's 22 inches. I don't think any of this stuff has been replaced before. All of it is tight. Man, that was rough. Screw it all the way until it bottoms out. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half, basically. So 4 and a half, I'll write that down. Now that we have that information, we can just unscrew it. This will just slip off of the rod here. Slip the O-ring off. This nut has to be removed. There's an O-ring inside of here. Now I'll clean the parts and put it all back together. New O-ring. Carefully install it. That worked out well. This little one will go inside. I'm gonna grease it up. Trying to be careful to keep these threads clean because we have to put some sealant around the threads before we install that nut. I'm getting a little crazy with it. I'm a nut. Look at that. I'm a nut job. And I'm gonna end up just having to wipe all this excess off. Oh! Run our rod back up through here very carefully. I'm just gonna spin it through that O-ring. Very carefully. Oh my goodness. The better way to assemble this would have been slip the O-ring, first slip the nut on, then the O-ring, then slip this on. But we didn't hurt anything. Now we'll put our rod back in here, screw it back in all the way. And I think I'll slip this on back down. I'll put a little bit of lube on this shaft here just to give it a good start. And I have to put some around this edge for that O-ring to slip in there nicely. Now 4 and a half turns out. There's a half. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just to make sure. Yeah. 22. Perfect. First, our gasket here. I just wanted to smear on a little stickum. Seems like a good quality gasket to me too, though. Now the plate. Nice new plate. Need to put our impeller inside of this housing. This is assembly lube. It's just shouldn't hurt the rubber. The impeller, when you see it, the key will have to slip down on this side. This side is kind of like capped where it won't, so you kind of gotta make sure it goes this way so you can slide it over the key. And we'll slip her in there like that. Let's see. I got something wrong. There we go. That's how it should look right there. How did I figure that out? I just copied the old one. And you could look it up, I'm sure, but I always get confused. That's why I left this in there the whole time, because I didn't want to get confused. First, our key will fit on here like that. And then if everything is lined up just right, then this will drop right on. Nice. I'm gonna test fit our housing here first. And I thought I had it lined up, and I guess I do. There it goes. I'm gonna put a little of this stuff on here on this O-ring to help hold it in the housing while I set it in place. It won't hurt anything, just a little bit. Very loose fit. I don't like that. Oh no, Benny, don't do that. Yeah. Won't hurt it. Ooh, thunder. That'll just help hold it in place. And our last little piece, can you believe it? Are you guys liking this crap? I mean, do you like these technical kind of videos? Let me know. Now let's take a peek at this water pump, and you can see how bad it was, and I'm glad we did all this work because of this right here. Look at that. That thing would have for sure fell apart on us. Oh, look at this. I can probably prove it. No, I can't. I've got it glowing red and hot. That's part of my plan. I'm hoping the heat goes up in there and we'll loosen this bolt up. We'll see. Broke off the bolt again right there, but it was spinning. Dang. My bolt ain't even holding. Man. Come on. How many times did I attempt to weld a nut to a bolt to remove that bolt from the aluminum housing? At least this many times. Sometimes I wonder why I torment myself like this. It won't be going back together today.